Yeah, and we switch our attention to something else, which is equally important. Some of you may be aware of what's happening between the NBA and the Attorney General of the Federation, the rules of the legal profession and all of that. Well, all of the conversation, let's take it up with two gentlemen joining us this morning. But we'll begin with our guest in Abuja. Emmanuel Ekpeme is a legal practitioner. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. For some who don't know what's happening, bring up to speed. What exactly is the issue that the NBA has with the Attorney General of the Federation?
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you very, very much for having me. I wouldn't say it's a power tussle, but it's the Attorney General of the Federation actually amending the rules of professional conduct 2007, and he did that unilaterally based on the powers imposed on him by Section 2, Sub 1 of the same act. And the NBA leadership, the hierarchy, is not happy as it is, because they're asking that, or they're actually stating that if he had to amend those rules, then he had to do it going with the consultation with the General Counsel of the Bar. And what happened now with the rules being amended is that he had taken out sections 9 sub 2, 10, 11, and 12 of the rules, and now the rules have been gazetted to become the Rules of Professional Conduct 2020. And he is taking out with the amendment the provision that every lawyer must have a stamp and a seal for them to be able to work. To work, I mean, you will be able to stamp, put those seal on your documents, on court processes, on letters, on agreements, and the rest of that. What that has done is that it has helped in checking quackery in the profession. So every lawyer you see has a seal, and the seal carries your name, it carries your enrollment number, and of course, the year you were enrolled. So a lot of lawyers, including myself, are looking at it and said, okay, at the end of the day, it's going to become a problem because we don't have that leverage anymore to be able to place those seals. And then how do you get to check quacks in the profession? Because like it or not, there are several of them in the profession. And 11 that he took out also has to do with the mandatory continuing legal education for lawyers. Now, it's a provision for the MBA, and I'm going to fault the MBA on that. It's a provision. They have a desk for continuing legal education. And as the last time I checked, I know for a long time, a professor of law and a former deputy director general of the Nigerian Law School, Enugu, and a senior advocate of Nigeria, Professor Ernest Ujukwu, was heading the continuing legal education. What that means is that lawyers are supposed to earn certain amount of credits for you to be able to practice law at every point in time. So that thing has been moribund for a very long time. And I wouldn't blame the AGF for that. I'll blame the NBA for not enforcing that. And the AGF looking at it and saying, okay, maybe it's just moribund. We don't even need it at all. And he has taken out that. He's taken out also the issue of government lawyers being able to, paying for stamp and seal. So what it means right now is that lawyers are just going to be floating. You don't even have anything to identify you as a lawyer.
Let's also ask Mr. Kayode Ajulo, who also joins us virtually from London. You are aware of what's going on as well, and where do you standing on all this, first of all?
Well, thank you very much. I stand on the part of law. Our law is so clear when it comes to this. And one thing we have to know very well is that, like I said yesterday, it will be uncharitable for lawyers to heap blames on the Attorney General, particularly lawyers that don't even know the internal workings of the General Counsel of the Bar. I say this by checking the laws that established this council, and from what it has been. You and I will remember that for sometimes the agitation for what to be done has been on, and it is the duty of General Counsel of the Bar, particularly when it comes to getting the conduct of Nigerian lawyers right, to do what they hold to have been done. Now, as it is today, the amendment has been gazetted. But one thing that surprised me most is that you see those who are not even a member of that bar, of that council, raising issue. And we as lawyers, we must be guided by the law. The first question I need to know is this. Wait, because I listened to what my friend just mentioned now to say unilaterally. How did you know that is what has been done, particularly when the council has its own way a law that will govern his conduct. I believe, like I said yesterday, if there must be any opposition, if there must be anybody that will query or question what the Attorney General, Honorable Attorney General has done, must be members of his council that will say this is what it is. It is not me. Like you hear the president of the bar, that's NBA, saying what it is. The president of the bar is not even a member of that council. So that is where the issue is. And from what it is, like for example, some of us have raised the issue of this sale. The law is so clear. The Supreme Court has come to explain what that sale is. And some people will continue to tell you that because of the sale, there are some quacks lawyers. No, what we should know is this Nigerian lawyers has been for over 100 years. Sale just started 2000 and 2014. And the question we should say is that how many of the quacks lawyer or whatever you see that has been caught? And one, mind you, when it comes to impersonation, it is a criminal matter which police must do. I need to ask the NBA, how many of them has been arrested, and what did you use to arrest it? And particularly when they've commercialized the whole stamps, that is not the duty. And by the time you look at that rules very well, the rule never allowed the NBA to commercialize the issue of stamp to the point that you'll be selling stamp.
You're raising the issues already. Just one moment. You're already raising the issues, and that's of course taken. But there are people, of course, in the same profession who maybe they're in the council or not, I don't know, but they say that, yeah, it's a good thing to do, but maybe the process is what was faulty. What's your take?
No, the issue of the process, like I said earlier, there are a lot of layers of authority, particularly when a body has made a decision. If anybody must complain, it is not you and I that we don't even know the internal workings of that. Mind you, the Attorney General of Federation is the president of that bar, of that council. And mind you, despite the fact that we have over 50, almost 56 members, only 8, the laws make it possible for you to have only 8 can make a quorum. Now the question is this: for anybody to follow the process, that is what I've been saying. For you to follow that process, you must be a member of that council to know the internal workings of it. All right. By the time you look at the section, even the process to use, the council itself can make the process. Since I don't know the
Mr. Ejilo, let's take it to Mr. Ekpeme. I mean, you've made that point about not knowing the process at the General Council of the Bar. So, Mr. Ekpeme, I'm not sure if you followed through or you have inside knowledge of how this was done. I'm just wondering, on one hand, do you know if that went through due process at the General Council of the Bar? That's one. And also, when you talk about identification, some say, well, you have your call number that was given by the Supreme Court. Isn't that enough identification? And for some, they think this is a good thing, actually. It gives a lot of people access to the Temple of Justice. So people that are not legal practitioners can actually submit, court processes. So in the light of those points, how do you respond?
Well, thank you very much. You see, there's no hard and fast rule to this. If you look at section 2 sub 1 of the rules of professional conduct, that gives him the powers actually, and how he went ahead to talk about or to amend, he actually said, by the powers conferred on me. When you confer with the bar, there's nothing hidden on it, the body, the council. It will come out, and then there will be people that you have conferred with. The NBA president, who I'm sure is a part of that bar, of the body, and several others, even though a senior advocate, I think Tolani also, actually said people who don't attend meetings should not come and complain. So maybe that will be an indictment on the members who are supposed to be there. But the general feeling is this: he didn't confer with anybody before taking a unilateral decision to amend the Rules of Professional Conduct 2007. Now, if he did confer, then he should come out and say, okay, I did the conferment with people, I did a meeting, and this is the process we went through before amending. Now, there are 3 stages, there are 3 categories of quack lawyers. There are those who apprenticed in law firms and then decided to buy wig and gown and start practicing. There are those who went to the university and then didn't graduate but are still practicing law. And there are those who graduated from the university but could not pass the bar at the law school. And those are the most difficult ones to detect because they've gone through school, they have law school mates, but they were never called to bar. maybe they couldn't pass the bar exams or something happened. Now, how do you dictate all these people without them having the seal? Because there's no way you can apply for your seal.
Mr.
You
Ikweme,
apply for the seal, there's a
people,
verification, your name and branch is going to come out.
Do they have call numbers?
Yes. Do they have call numbers?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Yes, do they have call numbers? These three categories that you mentioned, do they all have call numbers?
They don't. No, they don't have call numbers.
So isn't
the
that
people who have call numbers are those who passed the bar.
So isn't that a
Yes.
main level of verification to know who is a lawyer and who is not, other than the seal?
That is what I'm telling you. The people who are called to bar are those. I know the date I was called to bar. I know when I enrolled at the Supreme Court. And of course, I know exactly what my number is, my call number is. You cannot get that call number except, of course, you passed the bar and then you were duly called and a certificate issued to you by the body of benchers. So that is
for
when
the seal,
that
then.
certificate you can use to enroll at the
So
Supreme Court.
that's the argument
Now,
some are
that
putting
number
forward.
the Supreme Court will appear on your seal.
So people are wondering that if you have that call number, so what's the point of getting that seal and having to pay on a yearly basis, I believe, just to, in quote, renew
Now,
that?
this is the point. Kayode, this is the point. You have that call number, but you don't write it anywhere. You don't write it on your court processes. You don't do anything with it because nobody asked you for it. And so the same lawyer who has not been called, let me put it in quote, who has not been called to the bar will now go and file his processes with his name on it. Nobody's going to ask him any question. But when there's a mandatory provision for you to put your seal on your processes, your name is going to appear and your enrollment number is going to appear on that seal. And so if you go and forge that seal and you put it there, an enrollment number, they always find out. And moreover, you cannot even forge the seal. That's how bad it is.
All right. Well, Mr. Ajulo, now that it seems like there is some sort of communication challenge with this whole idea, however well-intentioned it may be, perhaps there is the problem of communicating the intention and the action itself to the people who will benefit from it, the practitioners in that sector. What should happen now?
Like communication problem. This is the question of the law, and when law has been settled, you don't even need to plead or you don't need any fact or particulars. By the time you look at section 1 subsection 4 of that case that establishes the general bar, it said the quorum of the bar shall be 8, and the standing there must be a standing order in which the procedure of the council. Now, my friend just made an allegation which I believe in he will need to withdraw, saying that the Attorney General has unilaterally. Were you there when he did this? Did you know the standing order that gave the Attorney General what he has done? That is why I said that anybody that can come before the Attorney General now must be a member of that council. And as of now, no member of that council has been able to come out to say, yes, what the Attorney General has done is wrong. That's why you can see the senior advocate Okutepa, you can see the Chief Akintola, who is the member, said what the Attorney General has done is right. And even in that section, even said that nothing shall invalidate whatsoever the Attorney General or anybody must have done in that council, even if they've done it
Mr.
wrong.
Ajulo, just one moment. Where you stand on this matter, can you confirm that this action has been taken and concluded?
I believe it has been taken and concluded, particularly since it has been gazetted. Even it has a gazetted number. This is the question of law, and the law is so clear. Anybody that needs to raise any issue must know what happened in the matter.
All right. We have to thank you very much, Mr. Kayode Ajulo, as well as Emmanuel Ikpeme, both legal practitioners. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having us.
So I guess we have messages now?
Well, yeah, well, we're hoping that, yes, indeed, that we could go right on to those messages. If now, where do we start? Which of them do we take?
Usually, the ones that would actually want to interest.
Okay, let's start with Professor Enahena then. Okay, well, he says, look, government must come out from the shackles of desperate economic policies to economic programs that will take the country out of poverty, provide enabling environments for investment, enact policies that are humane and capable of generating capacity for development and employment.
Dr. Ayodele Adewale speaking to one of our guests earlier on, saying it is clear, according to him, that a gentleman Farouk in the studio today, has probably just returned to the country or is living in denial. How can he say that it's not true that people are suffering? Ends by saying, I'm short of words.
Well, this one is interesting. A different twist, if you like. Nazif Said Wambai says 102 million people were living below the poverty line in 2010 when our population was 167 million. Today, with a population of about 200 million people and the number of people poor Nigerians have been reduced to 82.9 million people according to NBS. PDP signed Nigeria to poverty. We're lucky to have PMB at this time. Interesting. But then you need to give us the source of those figures. So
Adeleke Amos says, on the last... we'll come to yours soon. Adeleke Amos says, on the last issue, the SAE, the essay on education, that's what it means, has talked about the position of the government. And I believe what he has said, to be a very sincere man, the union should please continue to dialogue with the government to bring lasting solution to the issues. Oh dear. Okay, that's Amos. We hear you.
Well, there's this tweet on the NBA AGF issue, and it says, this is from Onu, by the way. It says, Ajilo is just being, in quote, beggarly in his reaction to the AGF's illegal action. According to this tweet, it says, first, the AGF is plausibly denying any knowledge of the Gazette and raising concern about being sabotaged. Well, Mr. Ajilo says he believes that action has been taken, looking at the Gazette and the number on the Gazette. And then Onu says, second, members of the GCB have stated that they were never invited to any meeting. But yet again, Mr. Ajilo says, well, he has not seen any member of the General Council of the Bar saying they were not invited. So is this just lawyers doing their thing, just, trying to balance the sides?
Well, we will find out. Well, tomorrow promises to be another day. So make it a day with us, because we will be glad you did, or to know that you will. Well, thank you all for watching anyways. We'll see you again tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Oso.
I'm Kayode Kikulu.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. Don't forget, keep safe. Have a